Dear children, welcome to the next session on the chapter Animal Kingdom. In this module, we are going to learn about the second phylum, that is Phylum Cnidaria. Now, just look into this figure. What is this? We would have seen this animal either in a television show or in a movie or either in an animation. It is nothing but a jellyfish. So, we are going to learn about such animals in Phylum Cnidaria. So grades of organization is the tissue level. So they have been promoted from the cellular level to the tissue level. And symmetry is a radial symmetry. What do you mean radial symmetry? That means the body can be divided into two equal halves through any plane passing through the central axis. And the germ layers are diploblastic. That means they are having an outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. Between they can see an undifferentiated jelly-like layer called as a mesoglium. And coelom, they lack a coelom, so they are called as acoelomate. The digestive system is incomplete. What do you mean incomplete? A single opening does both the function of both the mouth and the anus. And the digestion is intracellular. Intracellular means the digestion is taking place inside the cell. And in addition to intracellular, extracellular digestion is also seen in some animals. And respiratory system is absent. The circulatory system is also absent in cnidarians. Now let us learn about the reproduction in Phylum Cnidaria. When we think of reproduction, there are two forms. There is polyp and medusa. There is polyp, they are sedentary and they are tubular in structure. Sedentary means they are attached and they are asexual forms. Whereas medusa, they are not attached. That means they are free swimming and they are sexual forms and their shape is just like an umbrella. So this is a polyp and this is the medusa. The polyp reproduces asexually, that is by budding. We have learned budding, in which a small bud appears. And budding we had learned in which organism in class 10? We had learned it in Hydra. So polyp form is an example we can study about Hydra. So this polyp, it reproduces asexually by budding and it forms a medusa. And this medusa, it reproduces sexually and forms a polyp. So that is about reproduction. That is both asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So which form reproduces asexually? It is a polyp form which is tubular in structure. We learned about the structure of Hydra in class 10. It is just like a tubular structure. And it is sedentary. It is not free swimming. It is sedentary. And it is asexual form because it is undergoing asexual reproduction by budding and it forms a medusa. And medusa is umbrella-like and it is free swimming and it's a sexual form which undergoes sexual reproduction to form a polyp. And the sexes are separate. That means they are not hermaphrodite. They are seen on separate organism. And fertilization is external, which is taking place in the external medium. And development is indirect. That means they are having a larval stage in their life cycle. In addition, they have a unique feature. That is the tentacles. We can see tentacles over here. All these are the tentacles. On the upper side also there are tentacles. So tentacles, they are having a structure called as cnidoblast. What are these cnidoblasts and what are these tentacles? Tentacles are finger-like projections or structures which are surrounding the mouth of coelenterates or cnidarians. This opening is called as a hypostome and this hypostome is surrounded by these tentacles. And these tentacles, it is used for capturing of food and also for defense. And how are these tentacles able to defend against the predators? They are having cnidoblast, that is cnidocytes, are stinging cells which are present on the tentacles and also on their body. Okay, and with the help of these stinging cells, which is filled with a poison, and they are called as nematocyst. So cnidoblasts are stinging cells which is present on the body surface and also on the tentacles and which is having a poison-filled capsule. And this poison-filled capsule is called as nematocyst. And this cnidoblast is used for anchorage. It is used to anchorage. See, this is anchorage, defense, and also to capture the prey. So we can see this is a structure of a cnidoblast, which is having a capsule filled with a poisonous fluid, which is called as a nematocyst. And in addition, there is a gastrovascular cavity and this is called as a coelenteron. which opens out by a mouth, and this mouth is called as, or which is placed on a hypostome. Okay, so gastrovascular cavity called as a coelentron with an opening called as the hypostome. Now let us learn about the next unique feature of cnidarians. They are having two body forms. As I told you earlier, they are polyp and medusa. Polyp are tubular structure, they are asexually formed, and they are sedentary. We can see these are the polyps. Okay, and in them the mouth, that is which is placed on the hypostome, and the tentacles, they are directed upwards. And such body forms, they are called as polyp. Examples of this polyp forms are hydra and adamsia. This is the adamsia, and we know the structure of hydra. And the next form is the medusa, which is umbrella-like. It's free swimming, and a sexual form which with a downward directed. It is just opposite of the polyp. Here, the mouth and tentacles, they are directed downwards. For example, the Aurelia or the jellyfish. Alternation of generation is another feature which is seen in cnidarians. It is a phenomenon shown by some cnidarians in which the polyp reproduces asexually to form the medusa, and the medusa produces the polyp sexually. Is it clear? So this is the polyp, and this undergoes asexual reproduction to form a medusa, and in this medusa they undergo sexual reproduction into the male and female gamete. They fuse together and it forms a polyp. So this alternation of generation between the polyp and the medusa, and from the medusa to polyp, is called as metagenesis, and this is a unique feature which is seen in cnidarians. And in addition to it, there's a last unique feature, that is the corals. They have the skeleton made up of calcium carbonate. Corals, we would have surely seen corals in our aquarium, and this coral is nothing but the phylum Cnidaria or coelentrates, in which the body is covered by calcium carbonate. Now let us see the few examples of cnidaria. They are hydra, obelia, physalia, adamsia, then the brain coral, which is called as medrina, the sea fan, which is called as a gorgonia, and the sea pen, which is called as a penatula. So these are the different examples of phylum Cnidaria. Now let us comprise all the characters of phylum Cnidaria. Now the first basis of classification is the level of organization, which is tissue level of organization, and the symmetry is radial symmetry. The germ layers, they have two germ layers, that is ectoderm and the endoderm, and the coelom, they lack a coelom, so they are called as acoelomate. The habit and habitat, they are aquatic, either they are sessile, that means sedentary, or they are free swimming. The digestive system is incomplete, and digestion can be intracellular or extracellular. The respiratory and the circulatory system, they are absent in cnidarians. Reproduction is by asexual means or sexual means. Asexual means takes place in polyps, which is by budding, and sexual means takes place in medusa. And the unique features are that they have tentacles with cnidoplast, which helps in anchorage and also for defense mechanism, and tentacles also helps in food capture. And they have a gastrovascular cavity called as a coelentron, which has an opening called as the mouth, which is present on the hypostome. And there are two forms called as polyp and medusa, which undergo alternation of generation. And in some forms, like corals, they have a skeleton and an outer skeleton which is made up of calcium carbonate. And examples are hydra, obelia, adamsia, etc. Thank you, dear children. So thus we have come to the end of the second phylum called as phylum Cnidaria.